Welcome back to another episode of the Fierce and Femme podcast. We are your hosts, Rami
and Alicia, and we're back with another Christmas-themed episode. And today we're talking all about money, because we know this is a massive thing in the Christmas season. It can cause a lot of stress for people, uncomfortable conversations, and we just want to help dissolve that so that it doesn't have to be something that sort of consumes you in this period. So do you maybe want to kick it off?
Yeah, our advice is to truly just meet yourself where you're at. Like, we know this is a time to buy gifts and spend a lot of money on food and alcohol and events and things like that. And like Alicia said, it can feel stressful because there's so many more things happening. And if you're already a person that's, I don't like saying the word struggle, but let's say you are struggling with money at the moment, and then all of a sudden you've got all these new things, that's just going to amplify the emotions you're already feeling. So our advice is just to meet yourself where you're at. It's okay if you're in a period of your life where things are a little bit tight. Like for me, for example, that's kind of the period that I'm in, but I've decided, okay, I'm just going to surrender to it. I'm going to enjoy the process, and I'm just going to learn who I am during this process, right? And I think it's really important to surrender to that. And if you are that person that is, like I said, living a little bit tight at the moment, just be okay with that. Just surrender to that, because the sooner that you can sort of accept yourself for where you're at, the easier this is going to be. Because you can either be like, oh my God, I'm so angry at myself for not having money, and you're so stressed, and then you put yourself in lack, and then you're constantly thinking about all the things that you don't have or you wish you had, and then the whole month's going to pass by and Christmas is going to pass by, and you're going to be like, fuck, I actually missed out on being so present and doing things that might not even cost money. Like sitting with your family costs no money. Literally nothing.
Yeah.
Sitting outside with the love of your life, enjoying some fresh air in the sunlight, costs nothing. Taking your dog for a walk. Like, it doesn't mean that all these things that you do all the time just get thrown out the window or you forget about it. Like, you can still enjoy the things that actually cost nothing. And for me, I was going to say having no money, but for me lately, having a lower amount of money that I would like has actually made me feel so much more grateful for all the small things. And every day I'm just like, who am I without tens of thousands of dollars? Like, who is that person? And it's really grounding me. So you can really walk into this period of, cool, I'm at this stage with money and I'm just going to be okay with that.
I would also meet yourself where you're at in terms of gift giving. So I was in a lower income situation last year, and gift giving stressed me the fuck out because I just felt that I couldn't reciprocate monetary wise what other people were giving me. And then I also came back to the fact gift giving isn't even fucking about that. And I think we make it about that, where it's actually about showing your love for people, showing your affection for people through what you give them. So I decided to bake, and I baked some delicious fucking brownies and Rocky Road. And I gave that in these beautiful bowls to people. They also got to keep the bowl, which were my bowls.
If you're listening and have Alicia's bowl, bring it back.
I want them back, please. But it was like really appreciated, and it doesn't have to mean it's not less than.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's something we need to get over, is that just because it may not be of the same monetary value, it doesn't mean that it's less than. And I think depending on the person you're giving it to, they're going to have different perceptions and everything like that. But put your fucking love into it. And I think this is where also suggesting things like KK or Bad Santa. My family do Bad Santa, and it's also creates so many really fun memories, I find. We started it when my mum met her partner that she's with now, because he has kids, and I was like, there's so many people to buy for if we're buying for mum, her partner, his kids, everyone. And I think I suggested it because I'm like, it's really fun. And if you don't know Bad Santa, pretty much we all buy gifts. We only do like $20, so really cheap, really affordable. And it was really funny because it also started a tradition. I'm going on to a bit of a tangent here, but I promise it's fun and it's worth it. Is someone bought a water pistol the first year, and it kept getting stolen, and then we started having a water fight. And then the next year, there were like 4 water pistols in the Bad Santa. And it got to the point we have a water fight every year now, to where the hose got involved last year. Like inside the house even. Like, we are fucking competitive, and it is so funny. But I think that's also like the beauty of it. These are literally $20 presents that some of them are as silly as a water pistol, but created, like, I get so excited every single year for like a yearly water fight with everyone, because we're just pissing ourselves laughing and it's so lighthearted, and that to me is what Christmas is about, rather than the actual monetary value of having a really expensive, like high value present. So I think meeting yourself where you're at in that is really important too.
I think that's a really great point, is that you're going to look back on Christmas or whatever events you had, and you're not going to look back at the gifts that you got. You're going to look back at the actual day, how much fun you had, the emotions that you carried, exactly like with birthdays. Like like every birthday I'm like, fuck, what did I get last year? It becomes a blur because but I could hand on heart remember the event that I had, or the people that I came, the dress that I wore because I felt so good. And it's like, that's what actually matters, and none of that has to actually do with the money. So I think that was just such a really great point. I think another thing to add with that is communication. Like, if you are in a position where you can't give big monetary gifts that you would like to, communicate that with people. I think there's this weird thing with people and money is they get so scared to talk about money, but
because it's taboo.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be. And I think that for me specifically, like, mine and Vasa's relationship has really increased so much more recently because we've actually had conversations about money. Because I was like, well, bro, like, where I'm at right now, I need to tell you where I'm at, pretty much. And it used to scare me, but now I'm like, fuck, it's so much easier to talk about it because then we can game plan, we can work together. If I need to ask for money, I can do that. And if you know that telling people is going to relieve some stress and pressure, then go ahead and do that. Like, for example, I'm catching up with a girlfriend tonight, and any other extra plans that I've got for December, I've told people, I'm like, hey, I'm doing my best to like be better with money. How about a coffee and a walk? How about we just sit at one of our houses? Maybe just a froyo instead of a whole dinner or something like that, because that's cheaper. It's like, there is so much more that you can do, even if you feel like you're in a position where you can't splurge. And it really does go back to meeting yourself where you're at. But if you can communicate that with people and just be honest and open about it, like, if people are going to judge you, you should probably reassess the friendships. But like, people are going to get it. Like, when I told my friend that today, she was like, same, that's a great idea. I was like, oh, thank God I said something, because what if I didn't? And then this person opposite me is also stressing about money, and we're both secretly stressed but not telling each other. For what reason? Like, for what? There's absolutely zero purpose. So just be open and honest. And same when it comes to gifts. Like, if you're someone who can't give all the gifts in the world that you would like to, it's a point of like killing the ego and just telling people, like, hey babe, like, hey guys, I would love to give you everything, but in this current phase of my life, I simply cannot.
Yeah.
They're not going to turn around and say that you're the worst person in the world. They're going to get it. Yeah. And I think that's really important, because if you're someone that would get it, then why would the people around you not get it?
And I think the thing is, people don't know until you tell them, because we love to put on our masks and we love to have our smiley faces. And when people ask us how we are, we're so good and life is great. And then secretly behind the scenes, you're like counting every single dollar. And people don't know that unless you actually communicate with them. And you don't need to, if you're not comfortable telling them the whole story, you don't need to tell them the whole story. And it gets to just be as simple as, hey, I'm just struggling a little bit at the moment. This is where I'm at. I'm going to bake, or I'm going to do this instead. And like, I hope that's received with all the love and everything. And like Rami said, I think it is really beautiful when it brings out that in someone else and they go, fuck, I'm actually feeling the same way. Because I think you would be shocked at how many people around this period are probably feeling the exact same way as you. Probably are stressed about money, probably are going, how the fuck am I going to afford gifts? And what good is it, all of us feeling that way?
Exactly.
Because we're just too scared to tell anyone that. So I think, again, this is something we've been talking about a lot, is leading the way can actually create this massive ripple effect, whether it's in your family. Like me suggesting KK removes so much stress from, I know, my sister, my parents and everyone, from having to buy presents for everyone. And it's now become this really fun thing. So sometimes it just takes stepping out of your comfort zone a little and being the leader and being that first person to create that impact and that change, so that other people maybe are like, oh, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. And I'm not the only one, because it can feel really isolating when this is something you're experiencing and you don't think anyone else is. But again, you don't know until you communicate that. And our next point is, when we're giving, because presents are such a big part of Christmas, I feel like everything, even I had like a work Christmas party where they were like, oh, can everyone bring a cake? And I'm like, whoa, that's really interesting that they've asked that, because you just don't know where people are at the moment. And that's another thing and everything. But I think it's really important that if you are choosing to give with no expectations. Yeah. Because like we were just saying, we do not know where people are at in their financial journey. And I think something is different. Families and people have different traditions and expectations in that sense. So for example, like my family, we've always gotten like 100 $100 worth of something for Christmas, and that's that. And that's just how we grew up. And then I went to my partner's family and they go all out for Christmas, like very, very big. And I sort of came into it, and at the start I was like, oh my God, I now feel guilty for not being able to give that much and all those things. So then on the other side, I've also had to learn to receive without having to equally reciprocate, because again, I'm not in that same financial position, and that's okay. And that was something that I just had to learn to move through. And again, through communication and being honest and all those things, in that being able to do either or without the expectation of it being reciprocated.
Yeah, I think what's really important is that if you are that person that wants to use all your money and you love buying gifts and you're doing all those things because that's something that you enjoy doing, you truly have to do that and decide that that's your decision, and you might not get that back. If you're doing that with the expectation of, okay, well, I've bought everybody in my family gifts, so that means everybody else is going to give me gifts back, and then they don't make that mean something about them, because I guess the whole point of this episode is that people, like, we just don't know where people are at, and you simply cannot decide for them that they're a bad person, or like, oh, they don't want to spend money on you or whatever. Like, you make it mean so much more than what it is, when that other person might be going down a complete fucking guilt or shame spiral that they can't get you something and you just haven't, but your actual intention was to receive something back instead. Like, I think just be really cautious and be honest with, if you are going to be that person that wants to buy gifts, that you're doing it for you. Like Alicia said, no expectations, nothing like that, because you just do not know where people are at. And if you want to give, that's fucking awesome. Like, just do that and do it with so much love. Like, don't do it to the point where you get to the end of the holidays and you're like, oh my God, I've got no fucking money now, I'm stressed and da-da-da-da. Because, like, again, stand on fucking business. I love saying this, but like, when you make a decision to buy everybody gifts and you want to spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, that's no one else's fault at the end of it. If all of a sudden you're emotionally stressed and you're derailed and all that sort of stuff, like, plan ahead, budget, do what you need to do so that you can splurge if you truly want to. And then after that splurge, you're like, fuck yeah, my cup's still full because I did what I needed to. I budgeted, I still have money, and I feel really fucking great, even if I didn't receive the exact same thing back.
I think a different sort of point on that is, look at your why behind gift giving. Are you doing this from a people-pleasing standpoint of, I have to give this much and I have to spend this much because that's like what everyone does? Or are you doing it from the fact that gift giving is literally meant to be something that, I love this person so much and I want to give this to them because I love them? So I think looking at, sort of like Rami was saying, your intention behind it is, why are you giving them these gifts? Because you don't have to buy anyone anything. And I mean, society might say something different, but I would look at the intention from, I'm actually giving people these gifts because I fucking love them. And that's my why behind them. Because I think where it does come to having those feelings of sometimes being upset for giving them back, it's that whole exchange of, well, I gave you one and you're meant to give me one, and that's like how it's meant to be. Whereas, can it just be, I chose to give you a gift and that isn't going to change whether I get one back or not? Because I think that's where gift giving, especially around Christmas, and I know there's so many stories in my family that I have of like, oh, well, I agreed not to do gifts for this person. They bought me a gift this year, so now I have to get them one.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, or could it just be that it is what it is? And I feel like it's a very old-fashioned belief and tradition and everything, because I know that I'm not as much like that now. But it's, some people will view it as rude to not reciprocate.
Yeah.
But can it just be to go, wow, that was so beautiful, thank you so much. And again, this comes down to the communication that you have with that person and having a really good relationship that you don't expect anything in return. Like, I know sometimes if you shout a friend a coffee, you may not expect for the money back. Sort of that same thing as like, you're just doing it out of the kindness and goodness of your heart.
And I think if you're the person on the other end of that, like, receive that with love, because someone has gone maybe above and beyond, or they've thought of a really sentimental gift for you. And yes, you might be the person that maybe can't afford to give back, but don't project that guilt and shame onto the person that's giving you that gift, because that's great for them that they're in a position that they can do that. So just allow them, and just, I think it's really important to receive that with love, with compassion, with appreciation. Because if you go to someone, oh my God, but I didn't get you anything and I feel so bad and da-da-da, like, why did you do that and all that sort of shit, and then, you create that spiral in front of them, I would personally feel pretty like down about that, and I'd be like, fuck, can this person just accept this fucking gift that I've gotten them? Like, it makes it harder. So I think that if you want to be the person one day that wants to be able to give back to everybody, this might be that season of you learning how to receive, because if you don't know how to receive gifts and money and all that sort of stuff, then you're never really going to know what it's like for the person to receive your gifts. So that's a really great reframe too, is if you are in that position right now where all you can do is just receive, just accept it and just allow it so that you can be really great, and you'll actually love to give so much more in the future when you actually anchor into how fucking awesome it is to receive so many different things from friends and family. So just enjoy the process, trust the process, and just fully surrender to where you're at.
Yeah. The last point, which Rami sort of touched on before, is planning and budgeting. I think this is where we actually said this in quite a few episodes ago of, it's not that you don't know Christmas is coming up. You've known for years, like that it's going to be
every
here.
day.
It doesn't change every single year. So I think actually use that and, you know, start to work out like a budget sheet. If you are buying gifts for people, how much you can afford to spend on those people, will willingly want to spend on those people, plan it out. I also love to like look at sales. So
Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday. Well,
which would have
by the
passed.
time you're listening
Anyway.
to this, it may not be there. But another thing is Shopback. Do you use Shopback?
I've
know
heard
Shopback?
of that, yeah.
I have fallen in love with Shopback recently because you're literally just making free money, and it's not a scam or anything, I promise. Like, this is actually a real thing. But small things like that can make a difference. Like, for example, a few weeks ago, I bought my partner a weekend away for his birthday, which was like $600 for 2 nights away, and I got $60 back.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, that's fucking $60. Like, that can make a lot of a difference. So being smart, if you know you want to get, say, a Dyson Airwrap, I know that's a really expensive present, but on that, looking at, okay, if Dyson sold at Maya, Mecca, I don't know, all these places, be smart with where you're purchasing. Like, you can browse, you can have a look around and
do your research.
Yeah, this is where planning can actually be really beneficial. Like, go for little deals. There's nothing wrong with doing that, and
Love
be
a deal.
actually really smart. I know, I fucking love a good
price
little
match or
saving. Literally, but actually look for all those little things because they can make a difference and relieve some stress, and also maybe mean that you can afford a certain present for someone if you know that's what you want to buy them, and those sorts of things.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I've ever... I feel like that was... Do you have anything else to add? I was like, what else are we talking about? Yeah.
I feel like that sums it up pretty well.
I think so too. Money comes and money goes. It's all about the energy and the emotions that you put towards it. So just be smart and have fun. Like, if you're buying presents for everyone else and you're like, fuck, I want to get myself a present, fucking do it because you deserve it. I feel like this might contradict the whole episode, but not really, because like, you also do deserve your own Christmas gifts. Like, if you are such a giver, don't forget about yourself is what I really want to say here. I think that like, we can forget about ourselves during this period because we're like, I want to buy gifts for them and them and them and that, and then it comes back to you and it's like, oh, and like, if no one else did get for you, yeah, you might feel upset about it, but it's like, don't forget you then. Go buy yourself something while you're on the journey of buying everyone else.
Yeah. And I think, like Rami just said, just fucking have fun. It's Christmas. It is a fun little season that literally only comes once a year.
Yeah.
And like we said, you're probably not going to remember all the gifts and the money stress and everything like that as well. So
it's not worth it.
Just keep it lighthearted. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
All right, my loves. Well, I hope you're enjoying all our little bonus Christmas episodes that we've been chucking through. Make sure to like, follow us. If you like our episodes, feel free to share them on your stories, tag us, do all the things, because we really, really, really want to get to 100 followers by the end of the year. We may even be there already. I don't know, because I am past Alicia. But we hope you're loving the podcast. We love you so much, and we will see you next week. Bye.